the technical problem here.
Yeah. Okay. We have Sister Jancy, Principal Jayarani, Surabeda, already in.
Hi, sister. Good evening.
Good evening.
Saltbrook, Gianna is.
That's me. That's again me. I will be in two systems, Father.
Okay. Shabby sir, the Jayarani teachers will join soon. And we have teachers from Jayarani, Karmalagiri, and Krishna Jyoti, Vishudipti.
Hi, good evening.
Sister Jancy,
That's me.
the first preference is given to the teachers. Okay, our teachers will join in YouTube only.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you are today guest.
You can also.
Oh, thank you, Father.
Shabby sir. Sorry, if you can play music if there is. Okay. Sanish, could you please ask Rakhi?
Rakhi will be joining only at 8. She's.
8 o'clock. Okay. Right. No issue. If you ask them to join at least 5-10 minutes before, otherwise if they are not able to join time, yeah, some of us will have to leave the hall. Just a message, ask them to join at least 5 minutes early. Sister Nancy, is it really there? Mira?
We get the backup system.
Hi, Sanish. I'm here.
Oh, Michael, hi. Good evening. How are you?
Good, good.
Michael, how do you hear me? Is my audio good?
Yep. I can hear you all right. How about me? Am I
Oh,
okay?
you are perfectly good. Rocky might take a little bit of time.
A little bit louder. Michael, welcome. You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's better. Okay.
Yes, better than the best.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shabi sir, you can make this silver sun now, Michael sir, and them co-host and Sanish sir, and when Raki join, you can make her also co-host.
I've got this list of names. Kristu Yajati School.
Yeah. Kristi Jyoti. Yeah, Rajakant.
Rajakadu.
Rajakant. Yeah.
Rajakat.
Yeah.
Jai Rani School.
J Rani School, Todupeda.
Jai Rani.
Yeah.
Todu Puza.
Then Karmalgiri.
Kamalagi. Yep.
Karmalgiri. Munnar.
Kamalgiri.
Munnar.
Is that like the Carmelite nuns?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Karmal. Yeah. Then
Munnar.
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 Then Vishnudipti.
Visuadipti.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to practice them a little bit more. But
Vishwadipti. TMI school, Adimali.
Adamali.
Yeah.
I'll try what I can, but maybe if we get Sanish or
Well, I'm
Rocky.
here, Michael. Not to worry. Kamakiri
You're good.
a tool of the Carmelite.
You spell well, no problem. It's good.
Well, and if we're getting the students and the teachers to practice pronunciation, then I can do the practice as well. Pronounce schools correctly.
Yes. So we have teachers from other schools too. Okay, these are the major schools, and other teachers will be joined in YouTube channel. Okay.
Okay.
Michael. Okay.
Very good evening. May I request you to reduce the music, the background music? Thank you.
Two more minutes. Shabi sir, you can play a bit. Yeah.
Good evening, to father, to brothers and sisters in Adimali, Adelaide, Mumbai, and anywhere else. Thank you for joining the webinar. We'll have our personal introduction that will follow sometime during this meeting. Someone has got the mic on, which is causing, sorry, someone has got the speaker on, which is causing echo. So I'm hearing me multiple times. So if you could kindly switch off those. Right. I think it is better. Thank you very Michael, what's your reflections? Are you hearing me many times?
No, I can hear you okay.
Okay, absolutely fine. Okay, so Mike, Rock, and Matt, that's myself, Matthew. My first name is Sinesh, though. We have been doing online training for English for IELTS students for quite some time now. It's been about 2 years roughly. We got our students all passing with a minimum score of 6.5 and the best at 8.5. So recently we have been having some discussions with the CMI fathers at Adimali, SOPANAM, and we have started this new initiative to learn English as a skill. This is different from the conventional approach towards the language. And about the requirement, why we need to take up English as a skill, and what's the difference between taking this conventionally or traditionally, how we normally do in the schools. So those are the areas which we concentrated. We've been doing quite a bit of research, and we've already conducted a 10 days plan at Vishwadipti and a couple of other schools. We already agreed to continue with the plan. So during this meeting, we'll discuss about the necessity of upgrading English skills, especially among teachers. So, Michael, would you like to express your reflections based on your interaction with the little boys and girls today, and also the teachers by the afternoon? In the morning, you met the boys, and towards the afternoon, you met the teachers, right?
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Michael. Joining from Adelaide in Australia. Been a colleague and friend of Sinish for many years now, and yes, did attend or see Sinish teaching the class with the young students today, and speaking to them, it was quite apparent that their accent or the way they spoke English was very good, and I think the exposure to with young kids, gaming, video, YouTube, etc., that immersion in native English speaking language gave them very good skills. Their pronunciation was quite good, and the general level with adults that I've seen has been good as well. The English level has been good, but the pronunciation and the accent of the kids, the young ones, naturally they had a much better accent and pronunciation in general. And I really think it's due to the exposure to native English language, YouTube, the kids' culture. And that's one thing that we're really trying to work on is the accent, really, and pronunciation, which having immersion in native English language content, whether it's podcast, video, movies, or anything like that, really does seem to help a lot with the accent, and that's definitely one thing we'll be working on with the students and the teachers. But yeah, it was great to see the kids, and they did love Sanish. They all thought he was a very good teacher, and they looked like they're having a lot of fun, but also learning a lot as well. It was great. Yeah. Now, Sanish, you there?
Yes, Michael, I'm back. Are you able to hear me good?
Yep.
Thank you. There was some technical issues at my end. I just fixed it. So, everybody, once again, I'd like to, at this point in time, bring your attention towards a situation which most of you are through. During these holidays, teachers from the government schools and aided schools were raiding the houses in the neighborhood to get the students to their school because they wanted to survive. We have to get more admissions in every other school, but at the same time, the public schools, you're getting very good bookings of new students are walking in, but with a great expectation. And the social responsibility after the COVID days has tremendously increased. It's because some of our classes are online. The parents are able to watch you, observe you, comment on you. Sometimes the parents can go very aggressive. They can record your teaching. They can report to the principal. They can also, put information in the social media. We're not as exclusive as we used to be. We're exposed now. And it is necessary for us to be more accurate when we communicate with the students. So we have developed some audio-visual methods and introduced it with the teachers to help them to make your English better. Most of our teachers are able to handle English pretty well, but there are some areas we need to be taking extra care. some of the parents are working abroad or have worked abroad, traveled abroad, so they know how this language is being used. And some of us have not got any opportunity to be abroad or to interact closely with English-speaking community. But let me share some information with you, which perhaps you haven't thought about. The world's largest English-speaking country is United States, followed by India, which is the second largest English-speaking country in the world. I do not know what's the ranking of Australia, but Michael, do you know it or do you want to check it?
Well, we would be beneath the United Kingdom. We're a population of about 20, maybe now 25 million.
I believe the United Kingdom is perhaps the fourth largest, I believe.
I would say, or if India is the second,
India is the
then
second.
UK would probably be third. Then possibly Australia and Canada.
Yeah, we can check this in the internet. Let me just check for the benefit of everybody to understand. I can present it also at the same time. World's second largest English-speaking country. So let me present it here. I hope everybody can see this now. India is the second largest English-speaking country. Okay, you have the data here. Can you see this page, Michael? Michael,
yes.
are you able to?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see this page?
Mm.
Okay. So the English-speaking population is in the United States, Nigeria, and India. This refers to the community who's using English as their primary language of communication. In India also, we have a large population who use English as their communication language. Okay. Do we have Raki joined yet? So considering India being the second largest English-speaking country in the world, perhaps we are not doing as good as we are supposed to be. The parents are investing a lot of trust in us. If we can compare this to a situation when we go to hospitals to meet the doctors with any problem, we trust them to treat us and make us well. In the same way, when the parents are putting their children with us, they trust us. After 12 to 15 years of time spending at the school and the university together, when people come out, some of the situations they're not able to even attend an interview, which is quite a concerning situation. To justify the social responsibility that we should uphold, we definitely need to mold and mentor our little boys and girls in such a way that they should be able to communicate at least in 3 to 4 years of time if they spend with us in our schools. So our approach towards the language should essentially be changing. We understand that there's a lot of challenges dealing with the little boys and girls. I have just been doing a training for young boys and girls at SOPANAM, so I very well understand the kind of challenges each one of you are going through. But at the same time, as I've explained earlier, your classrooms are not as closed as they used to be. Everybody can see you, people can record you. So it is the need of the hour. And since all of us understand that the survival of the fittest is the rule of our contemporary world, we all need to upskill our English language. Michael, Raki, and myself, we've been doing this for about 2 years. Now we have had some very worthwhile discussions with the CMI fathers at Adimali, and our outcome of our discussion is that we will import English from Adelaide. We'll have a native speaker, Michael, and we also have Raki. She's from Mumbai, registered nurse in the cardiac area. So we are the faculty. So I will now present you a video about the situation which I have just been explaining. There is some political writing in front of this, which you can totally ignore. What we are going to concentrate is just a concept. If any of you feel that it's an exaggerated thing, you can let us know your comments as well. So I hope everybody can see this. We'll proceed to this.
Yes, come in. Sit down, please. Okay, so this is your file. I understand you have done SSLC from Kerala. Very good, wonderful. And I see you have got 93% marks for English and 90% marks for Hindi. That's wonderful. You are actually looking for such a candidate for our customer relation department. So you need to speak to the customers, okay? So if you have an English speaking customer, how do you approach him and how do you show him around the place? Sir, English എനിക്ക് അങ്ങനെ സംസാരിക്കാൻ അറിയില്ല. What? You don't know how to speak English? I thought you got 93% marks in English. Okay. तो हिंदी आपको तो 90% marks है. We get some local customers who speak purely Hindi. So this is good. You have 90% marks. अच्छा जरा बताइए, अगर आप ये कस्टमर आएगा तो हिंदी में उससे कैसे बात करता है? मैं हिंदी बोलता है, बोलती हूँ, बोलता हूँ, मैं हिंदी बोलता हूँ. आपका फैमिली क्या करता है? करता सर എന്നെ പറ്റി എന്തെങ്കിലും പറഞ്ഞു, പക്ഷെ എൻ്റെ ഫാമിലി കറക്റ്റാണെന്ന് പറയരുത് പ്ലീസ്. പകലേ ക്യാ സർ? പകല് മാത്രമല്ല, ഉച്ചക്കും ജോലി ചെയ്യാം. See, my dear friend, you claim you have got 93% marks in English and 90% in Hindi. You don't know how to speak English. You don't know how to speak Hindi. What did you learn all these years in Kerala syllabus school? Other sir, English നമുക്കിപ്പോൾ ഷേക്സ്പിയറിന്റെ പ്ലേസ് ഒക്കെ അറിയാം, ഒഥല്ലോ, അങ്ങനെ ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ, മാക്ബത്ത്. പിന്നെ അനോട്ടേഷൻ, അഡ്വർബ്, പാസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ടിസിപ്പിൾ, അഡ്ജക്റ്റീവ്, എസ്സേ റൈറ്റിംഗ് അറിയാം. പിന്നെ ഹിന്ദിയിൽ നമ്മളിപ്പം കബീർ കാ ദോഹ, തുളസി കാ ദോഹ, പിന്നെ യാത്രാ വിവരം ഹിന്ദിയിൽ എല്ലാം കാണാപ്പാടം പഠിച്ച സാർ എഴുതുന്നത്. എല്ലാം കാണാപ്പാടം പഠിച്ച് എഴുതിയിട്ടാണ് എനിക്ക് മാർക്ക് കിട്ടി. ഞാൻ നല്ല ഭാഷ സംസാരിക്കാൻ അറിയില്ല സാർ. കേരള
So this is what I've been trying to express as we've discussed this topic. This is perhaps a reality which has been persisting in our community for quite some time. As you can imagine, we have a lot of brain drain happening. People are moving away from our state, especially to European countries, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, other countries. There are many socio-economic reasons behind this, which we are not able to help. But as being teachers, we have the responsibility, the huge responsibility of molding the forthcoming generation, the community, to be more capable of expressing themselves. Knowing English and by hearting everything, knowing every other aspect of academy and by hearting things and not able to use in day-to-day life is something which we wouldn't appreciate. So that's why we came forward with this idea of a fun-filled 10-day program for teachers to get an orientation to realize the need of teaching communicative English, which people can use in their everyday life. I would also like to bring to your attention how we got acknowledged and appreciated by an international figure. If you check for IELTS tutors or teachers around the world, one of the few names which come up at the top, you will see Keith Michael O'Hare. He's a native of Manchester. I've been to his native town. He's also he has also lived a long time in Far East and now living in Spain. He's been my inspiration and my teacher. I'd like to share the appreciation note which he has sent to me and encouraged me. Thank you. Let me present that to you now.
Really, really nice. A nice manner, a nice flow. Very impressed with your English. I think your student. Hey Sanish, it's Keith. Thank you so much for your audio message and the photos. You have a lovely family. Anyway, delighted to hear that you're a teacher. I didn't know that either. And listen, your English is fantastic. I mean, your enunciation is so clear. Really, really nice. A nice manner, a nice flow. Very impressed with your English. I think your students are very, very lucky. So listen, good luck with all your teaching. It sounds like you're quite busy. Thank you. Hey, Sani.
Sorry. So, though we have initially started to import English from Adelaide, ultimately we expect to bring experts like Keith to associate with the CMI Fathers at Animali and bring this mission in a much higher level. So with this, I would like Michael to take over and share your views about the situation where our students are spending 12 years in the school and not able to speak or express themselves in English fluently, and what kind of a solution that you think that the schools should immediately adapt to make a change to this situation. Thank you, Michael.
Well, thanks, Sanish. And if you notice with Keith, now Keith is from Manchester in England. Manchester is an area that has a strong local dialect and a strong local accent. Keith has a slight Manchester accent, but his pronunciation is more towards that the standard English style, or what we call the mid-Atlantic accent. RP, received pronunciation, and also what they used to call elocution. This is something that I think we really need to focus on, and because becoming familiar with the different regional accents of England and the USA, having a look at that will help to help the students and the teachers to identify and work towards more that received pronunciation type of accent or pronunciation. And this seems to be one of the issues where the young children, even though they're learning English, their grammar, etc., is developing, their pronunciation and their accent is quite advanced or towards that RP style. Again, simply I think because of all the YouTube videos, or watching and seeing things on the internet now, that especially the kids are large consumers of, that amongst the adults in your country, that the accent that you speak with, and if you're all talking or being used to conversing with that accent, it becomes ingrained. And what we're really going to try to do is work with the teachers and develop the pronunciation skills and moving more towards the RP or the mid-Atlantic type accent. And then those teachers will be able to deliver and improve the general level of the style, the pronunciation. And the more that we can get teachers who are more skilled in that RP style, really will bring the general level up for everybody, and everyone will be able to access. And this is what interviewers in the foreign countries will be looking for. Sanish played a video in one of his classes the other night of a mock test, and it was a Korean student, a uni student, but his pronunciation was excellent. And one of the questions was, tell me what you do in your free time. And the student, he was from Seoul, Korea. He said that in his free time, one of the things he really liked to do was watching videos on YouTube of one of the video games that he played. And by watching the videos on YouTube, the review videos or the game commentary type videos, must have given him, that real exposure and immersion in native English language, or the RP or mid-Atlantic style accent. And his accent was good. And this is the thing that all of the teachers and even the students that I've spoken with so far have had very good English skills, but it's the accent and the pronunciation which is the area to work on. And of course, grammar is important. Learning English phrases and the syntax of the sentences is very important, but not only having the pronunciation accent skills is a benefit for the speaking, but also then for comprehension and understanding. The more that we can work on familiarizing the teachers and the students with that pronunciation, they'll be better off, better able to comprehend and understand the different English dialects and accents and pronunciations. Sanish, you would know that some of the English in the UK, some of the regional accents can be very difficult to understand, even for a native speaker.
Yes.
And again, as well, in the USA, some of the regional accents are very strong and can be difficult sometimes to understand. And so as we improve with the pronunciation and the accent in speaking it, also our comprehension will improve as well. And the listening skills, or to be able to decipher and translate, the more we get used to that pronunciation and those tones, yet not only will the speaking ability be better, but also the comprehension level. And it should be a lot of fun as well. We've got some good plans for some role playing, getting to look at the different accents. And I really think that that the teachers, because you have so many languages there in India as well, in different regional dialects, etc., that I know that you will enjoy the differences and have interest in the different regional languages and dialects, that to take on English in that same way, we should be able to get a lot of enthusiasm and should be some good fun, but really learning a lot at the same time. So this should be a lot of fun, very good and very interesting, and also great effect for everybody as well.
Thank you. To introduce a very easy and universal pronunciation tool, which a lot of people are not using, but it's available for everybody. I'll show you something interesting. I hope you can see the web browser. Just Google. It will type your radio card. So this tool, get to connect you to the entire radio stations on this planet. Okay. And now I think we are in Southern England. Let me choose a station. Can be music
Costin vă
sometimes.
transmit știrile. Lidera Sinn Féin, Mary Lou McDonald, a declarat că Partidul Republican trebuie să câștige inimile și spiritele în favoarea reunificării insulei Irlanda. Transmite AFP. În
You can actually switch from station to station until we get.
When you have such an incredible side like Wolverhampton, who all season have given us not just wins, not just results, but big results. They've won like 3, 4, 5-0. They've beaten West Brom in all 3 matches this season, all the Black Country derbies. They've just had an incredible season. We're used to seeing them winning. We're used to seeing them performing at this absolutely incredibly high level. And so, there is a lot of pressure on them to keep that up. And it's a difficult narrative in the way that this now means we're going to be back in the same league again next season. But I just really don't want any of the players to be going away. I mean, some of them are apologising on social media. I don't think that's necessary at all.
Yeah.
I think they've had the main thing here is they have had an absolutely phenomenal season. They are just all incredible players. They've all personally and as a team progressed and developed so much. I mean, this time last year we were looking forward to this season. They'd been awarded upward movement, and they'd had that incredible FA Cup run, which took everybody by surprise as well. And I think, if you look at how much we've grown in that time, we've now got our hands on 2 trophies. We're now competing against an incredible side like Southampton for that promotion spot. We could have been in the Championship. When you look at all of the achievements that they've made this season, they should be so proud of themselves. And honestly, it will be fantastic next season again to follow them.
Thank you. Just want to introduce you. The availability of a universal tool which can help you to improve your listening skills. You can be cooking, you can be doing any other domestic work, or you could be trying to sleep, but you can still listen to the radio through your phone. It's an app which you can download to the phone. Also, this can be a web browser on your computer. You can listen to any stations anywhere, music, drama, conversations, dialogues. There is so much. If you are a person who is chasing RP or receive pronunciation, concentrate Southern England. But if you like to listen to and experiment accents from all parts of the world, you can actually do that. You can listen to English stations in India, English stations in Australia, in South Africa, America, Canada, New Zealand, and anywhere. So,
and look, Sinish, further, and everybody further on that you'll find that most radio stations, the presenters, no matter what region they are, in the UK, Australia, even in America, most of them use the more received pronunciation when they're a radio presenter. So you're not really going to get a lot of the regional dialect as such, but you will definitely get good examples of that RP or the mid-Atlantic type pronunciation. But what I would suggest is to find a subject or a topic that you're really interested in, whether it's cricket, sport, a movie, TV, gaming, whatever it is, crime, writing books, something that you're really interested in, and find some podcasts. And they're usually from America, but sometimes the UK. But there are always so many podcasts where they'll sit and discuss whatever topic you like, and find a podcast, something that you're really interested in and passionate about, have some knowledge. And that way you'll also be more comfortable and you'll know the subject. But to listen to that whenever you can, you know, as Sanish suggested, when you're cooking, cleaning, washing up, anytime you like. You know, even myself as a native speaker, I listen to a lot of podcasts on my favorite subjects, and they're usually from America. But that the more you can immerse yourself in native speaking content, you'll find that your comprehension and also your pronunciation will definitely improve. And the more you can practice that immersion, even subconsciously, your skills will improve very much, and you'll be much more comfortable with the more formal training and lessons in pronunciation. But yeah, I love I like that radio app. It's not something that I've actually seen myself. I think it'd be very interesting to sort of tour around the world and
Yes.
radio. Yeah.
You get the entire globe at the tips of your finger.
Yes.
So, Michael, another area where I might need to slightly disagree with you is podcasts or anything where there is video. People may tend to feel sleepy very easily, and they will also, you know, they will need to be in front of it. But this radio gives them the freedom that they can do multiple other works, and along with they can study.
Podcasts are usually audio only.
Only, right. Yeah, they are wonderful.
Yeah, you go to your podcast client, whether it's Spotify, Podbean, or whatever, and there's endless amounts, and they're always usually very high quality. The presenters are usually always very good pronunciation, quite literate type people who actually go and produce and make them.
And those are free, are they not?
Usually always free, yep.
Thank you. And another area of attention is a lot of people are scared about making mistakes while speaking in English. I think even native speakers, especially American speakers, make a lot of mistakes. We have already presented some of them in our online classes. I hope Michael can recall it. In courtrooms and other places, people use incorrect grammar. So that's quite possible. So we need not have to be ashamed of our grammar or our pronunciation. We can eventually uplift it, and we have a plan for it. We have Rocky already here with us. Rocky, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Yeah. If you would like to come with a video, you can. Otherwise, you can proceed to address the crowd. Yeah, first of all, you need to apologize to be late.
Okay.
I understand the traffic in Mumbai. Thank you.
Yes, I am. Yes. Yes. Good evening, team. Myself, Rakhi. You can call me as Rakhi. Currently, I'm working as a registered nurse in multi-specialist hospital. I'm handling cardiac patients, and I was a student of Sanish also. Currently, I'm planning to do something more about English. Like I always focus on improving my English skill and to teach me. I was always interested to teach students, and in fact, in my hospital, I am allotted with some training programs, and I got the opportunity to teach. So I just want to make sure I don't teach wrong, and yes, I do make mistakes sometimes, but I'll make sure that I won't be wrong majority of time. And as Sanish is speaking about this radio channel, it's extremely useful for me. I have been, I have given IELTS exam twice, and I have scored well. But currently, I'm not planning to move abroad, so I'm just connecting with this institute to improve the speaking skill of students, whichever I will get. I'm gonna spend time with you all. And yes, it's extremely important to improve grammar when we are speaking English. Most probably, I have seen that students usually make mistake in grammar is using preposition extremely in wrong place. So we need to practice it.
Rocky, we
Yes,
have
I'm
been sharing some videos and also some discussions to um, bring this point for discussion that people or students spend 12 years with our schools, and when they come out, they're not able to speak in English, which is not a positive situation. So, what is the situation in Mumbai? If a student spends 12 years in your schools there, the English speaking schools, what is the outcome? Are they able to express themselves in English reasonably? And you also know a lot of Keralites who come from here to your hospital. So if you can compare and give us a realistic picture, that will be all right.
Well, in Mumbai, I've seen, yes, the teacher plays an important role because they are the one from where the student will learn. And it's extremely important to use the word, grammar, and accent to be used properly. As I have been born and brought up in Mumbai, I have many teachers who were South Indian, in fact, some were from Goa, and I can clearly make out the like I used to use different wrong pronunciation of the words, like two, one, three. Everything was wrong pronounced. Then afterward, when I was communicating in my college, different students were coming from different part of India, and then I have started watching some series like Western series, and I came to know that some of the pronunciation is wrong. And when compared to the accent, I have been exposed to South Indians more, like Kerala people, and I can clearly make out they have a typical accent. Sometimes it's create miscommunication. As I'm a nurse, I am more exposed to nurses who belongs to Kerala, and I have seen that there is major communication error which is happening due to wrong pronunciation and having no accent. It's dangerous in at least in patient setting where we are miscommunicating the things. Even it happened that when I compare the accent in Mumbai, I have seen that students are able to speak out in English, and it doesn't mean that Kerala people doesn't speak well. They do, but the accent is playing. It's a creating a major problem.
Right. Rocky, can I add something there?
Yeah, sure.
Right. The communication problem among Keralites is a universally known fact. We cannot deny that. We communicate or we pronounce differently than the rest of the uh, linguistic groups in India. There could be many reasons, but um, some of the times, as Raki has mentioned, it could cause a miscommunication. Otherwise, fun. When I was in a supermarket in London, I heard a customer from Kerala speaking, "How much, eh?" As soon as she asked, I turned back and realized, oh, another Malayali here. So this is there, and this is a fact, and there is a reason behind it. For instance, if we wanted to say thank you very much, we do not normally bite our lips. We say thank you very much. Our lips will go in a kissing mode. That's not nice or good or scientific. You must say thank you very much. Then Valerie, Violet, all these things which starts with V for Victor, we should be using or we should be biting our lower lips with our upper teeth. So it's just the position of the lips, the tongue, and Yeah, simply that in most cases. Another common mistake what we make is um, thank you. We normally tend to say thank you or thank you for some people, which are both wrong. We must produce this sound, which is not there in our language, but it is in English. Thank you. Thank you. There should be a movement of a on top of our chunk, and Michael can perhaps do it even better. Would you like to try? Thank you, and Valerie, Violet, or any of those. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Valerie, Violet. What we're looking at and working on are those typical areas that are unfamiliar pronunciations, especially for the Kerala native speakers. And my mum was she was an English teacher and spent some time in England before I was born, and was a teacher of English in Germany. But when I was young, and whenever I would use bad grammar or start to speak with a typical Australian accent, she'd always correct me and be very strict, and she'd threaten to send me to elocution lessons, which if you've seen, it's the ones where they do it in England and they put a spoon in your mouth, I think, and they make you speak very proper, very English, very proper, posh English. And I was so young that I didn't know what elocution meant, and I thought she was saying electrocution, that she was threatening to send me to electrocution. But in Adelaide, we are known in Australia for having a posh accent, and we don't really speak with the typical Australian accent. When I was working at Telstra with Sanish as well, and we would take calls from all over Australia, and you'd have people from the country, people from Sydney, Melbourne, and they all speak with a more typical Australian accent. You know, even from somewhere like Sydney, you know, your more working class people would have a more normal Australian accent, but then the rich people from Sydney would have a more sort of an English posh kind of accent. And after a few years on the phones of speaking to all these different people, you'd sort of learn to change your accent a little bit. So if you're speaking to somebody from the country, you'd sort of start to talk in a more Australian, typical, how's it going, mate, sort of accent. And then when you're speaking with the rich people, you tend to sort of speak more properly and, you know, more formally. But the differences, being able to do that it's quite advanced. All we're really trying to do here is just get that pronunciation more towards the mid-Atlantic. But wherever we are, I mean, in Australia, they think in Adelaide we speak posh, but they say that we can't say milk properly. And so instead of saying milk with an L, milk, here we say milk, more with a W, milk. And it's one of those things, you know, you never notice. I pointed it out to my mum, who's a very proper, very English, she was an editor, very academically good knowledge of English, but even she wasn't aware of that we pronounce milk. We don't actually pronounce it properly in Adelaide, but you know, all those little things, they're good, you know, those little differences. You know, we don't want to all be the same, but you know, there is a middle area of it's more, you know, there's the RP, which is the received pronunciation, which is a very more an English thing, but globally you've got the mid-Atlantic accent. So any of your CNN presenters, NBC, even now the BBC, it's not quite an English accent and it's not quite an American accent. It's somewhere in between, the mid-Atlantic accent. And most people on YouTube also fall into that mid-Atlantic accent, and the Adelaide accent is sort of very much there as well. But, you know, it can be very interesting and it can be a lot of fun, and just those differences, they're not necessarily a bad thing, but the more that we learn about them, the better we'll be able to get with our own pronunciation, and, you know, really learning a lot, and, you know, getting, you know, it shouldn't be so much about being all the same. I think it's important that we still sound, you know, Indian could sound Indian, Americans can sound American. We don't all just want to be the same, but having that common sort of center to the accent helps us all to understand each other, and helps with communication, helps with business and commerce. And now with the internet as well, and especially the younger generation are really coming up, and they're really the ones to look for. The adults, you know, we get caught up in our routines. You know, it's harder for us to change. We get comfortable with our, you know, as adults, but the kids are more flexible, and they watch all the internet and the YouTube and TikTok, whatever. So they're really absorbing that mid-Atlantic type accent, and they're the ones to really look at and help that they don't sort of fall back into then the very Indian accent that the adults tend to speak, which is okay, but especially if you're looking for overseas work, etc., we want to really get to that sort of middle, that sort of RP, mid-Atlantic accent. It's just, unfortunately, it's just a fact of life at the moment. And I think eventually it will go the other way, where, you know, people will be more open to different accents and find it easier to understand. But for now, the more we can get that skill up, it'll be better, I think.
Thank you. Michael, before we proceed further, maybe Rocky can share her experience about the computer-based English tests, because those are the tests where you can score well. And it's always nice to have an IELTS certificate, for instance, with you, because anytime being English teachers or teachers of English medium schools, if you're questioned by anybody, you can at least produce your international certificate. So Rocky, would you like to take up this topic, the certification part of it? Thank you.
Yes, like I have given IELTS exam, computer based, because I was extremely worried about it, because when I was searching for a person who is experienced, like who have given this exam at least once, so that I can make out that what all problem I should see for it and what all benefit I should get. But I didn't found anyone. But Kanish had always encouraged me to give computer-based exam, and I have practiced for it also. Like for initially, I have started practicing for paper-based exam. That was quite good for me. But after practicing for 3 months computer-based, where I was able to manage typing part, and I can manage time management, which is the most important thing in IELTS exam, where we have to solve 40 questions within 60 minutes, which is one of the difficult tasks. And after giving computer-based exam, I was able to manage time very nicely, and it was at next level. Like I can use my mind for extra work. Like when I'm writing a single word like A or B, then otherwise I'm writing a word like little. I have to keep a mind. Like I I have to write that word, I have to think about it. But when it is computer-based exam, I have to just pull, drag, and just rarely I have to type the word rather than typing or writing. Rather than writing, I have to just click one single enter button, then my answer will be ticked. In short, I can say that fortunately, I'm not making any mistake in computer-based exam. But for paper-based, due to the stress, for time management, sometimes I will miss the audio part where the actual answer is there. But in computer-based, I was able to concentrate on the audio rather than concentrating in writing. I have to just click, and that had played a vital role in my listening test, where I have scored 7.5. Then coming to reading part, when it is a paper-based exam, I have to read whole part one passage, and I have to find the answer from that passage. But in computer-based exam, I had a specific passage which was on my left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, I had the question. And it was clear that all the answer of this question is within this limited passage where I don't have to go through all the passage of 2 or 3 pages. I have to see a limited passage. There, I was able to do the time management. When come to writing part, we have to write 250 words within 16 minutes. So I was able to write within a limited time because on right hand side I can see the counts of the word which I have already typed. So it is 250 words. I will just stop my essay and I will come to know that I have to start my conclusion, and the remaining time I had used it to improve my grammar, spelling mistake, making complex sentence rather than just increasing the words, which will not increase my scores, but my grammar, my spelling mistakes, this all thing will reduce my marks. So I have been able to do my time management. Then there was many additional option like highlighting, going to the selecting one specific question to be seen again at the end of the test when we will get 5 minutes. Sorry, in computer based we usually get 2 to 3 minutes to recheck that question and get the answer. And I was able to mark it and go through again in my extra time. So it
Thank
was extremely amazing.
thank you. So that is about the exams. We will take it at length when you guys really want to discuss about the exam and certification from British Council or IDP, who is doing it now. So another area of concern, I have very limited time here, but I would like to quickly present the real quality in black and white here. After spending 15 years in the university, a student has written this. There are some minor problems. His ideas are excellent. So, in many countries, young people are forced to have job whether if he or she hate or have no talent. There are plethoras of reasons that make people pressurized to do unwanted jobs. There are some issues with this sentence, obviously, but most of our students produce such sentences. Um, from a somebody from Mumbai, another part of this country. I'd like Raki to correct this sentence in your way, Raki. How would you, or where would you like to correct it without changing the idea of the narrator or the writer? Raki,
Yes, Sonia.
go ahead. In many countries,
In many countries, young people are forced to have jobs,
forced. There is an
whether
D
it's
missing, right?
yes,
You put
forced,
it in present tense. It
forced
has
to
to be past tense. Are
mm,
forced to have. Mhm,
job,
mhm.
whether if he or she hate or have no talent,
Should
whether
we add an A here? What do you think?
whether to
Have a
have
job.
a job,
Have
have
a
a job,
job. Okay. Whether if he or
whether can be
she.
replaced whether if he or she hate or have no talent.
Hate what? We are missing something here.
If
The
he or
right
she
hate
hate
what?
work, hate
Mhm.
hate work,
Hate it.
hate it, or
Okay. Hmm.
have no talent.
No talent
Talent,
for what? To perform
or have a task.
such task. Correct. Perform
Mm,
such
to perform such
task.
tasks.
Okay. There are a plethora of reasons. Something is wrong here as well. It's already highlighted.
Spelling.
No, there is another reason here.
There are
Okay. Plethora itself is plural. Okay. There is no plethoras. So it's
Mhm.
a word which they have used to show he's got good vocabulary. And since most IELTS students started using this, I'm afraid whether this will anymore be considered as vocabulary. There are a plethora of reasons that make people pressurized to do unwanted jobs.
Pressurized.
To do unwanted jobs. Unwanted jobs, the concept is wrong here also. The cohesion will be affected. So how will you correct here?
If
It's to do
it's of
jobs
reason that
that they
make
don't like.
people
Hmm?
to do
That they
jobs that
don't
don't like.
like, don't like. So Rocky, why don't you read this and see if our correction is good?
Okay.
In many countries,
In many countries, young people are forced to have a job whether if he or she hate it or have no talent to perform such tasks. There are plethora of reasons that make people pressurized to do jobs that they don't like.
young people are forced to have a job whether he or she hates it or have no talent to perform such tasks. There are plethora of reasons that make people pressurized to do jobs that they don't like. So,
Mhm.
Michael, from a native speaker's point of view, would you like to add to this? Thank you.
Yep, there are still two issues. Most issues there were picked up very correctly by yourselves, but
Thank you.
many countries, young people are forced to have a job whether he or she hates it or has no talent. Now, has is the present,
You're right, man. I'm wrong. Sorry.
and have would be the past pretense, and plethora, even though that is showing off a wide vocabulary, it would not really be commonly used, and a lot of people wouldn't even understand, and so you would just use
Plentiful.
many. Just many. There are many reasons.
Many reasons. Okay.
The simpler the
Many.
better, usually, is
Right.
a good rule.
Okay. Thank you.
And even at the end, instead of saying to do jobs that they don't like, how it was previously, to do unwanted jobs, that's fine, and you're using less words. And again, usually less is better. So even at the end, that's okay. To do unwanted jobs would be fine. Both are correct, but you wouldn't
Michael,
really need
unwanted
to change
jobs
that.
might also give an indication that this job is not morally correct or, something of that sort. Unwanted things.
No, just in the context of the subject of the sentence, it works. Yeah, but
Okay. The
apart from
question
that,
originally is about many people doing jobs which they do not like, appreciate, or adore anymore.
yeah, and so within the context of the subject of that sentence, the phrase "unwanted jobs" would be correct,
Will
and
be okay. Okay.
but either works quite well, and so
That's right.
really the only that to try to show off vocabulary, to use a word like plethora.
That's right.
Yeah, you know, that's much more should be focusing just on the grammar and the syntax rather than trying to use fancy vocabulary. But yeah, all those corrections good, and it was a very, very bad sentence to start off with, wasn't it?
Yes. Shall I
Many
rephrase it another
errors.
way quickly, if you like? In many countries, young people are forced to have a job, whether he or she hates a job or has no talent to perform such jobs. There are plenty of reasons that make people pressurized to do unwanted jobs. Would that be okay then?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. So let me get back to the meeting. Right. So thank you very much for your patience. These are a few areas which we could bring to your attention in this quick meeting. So in addition to the radio, another suggestion is a lot of people ask those aspirants who wanted to learn English to watch movies, but we wouldn't recommend it very much. Movies are the expressions are made up. They're not realistic. So maybe you can visit online real courtrooms, for instance. I'll show you one very quick. Give me a quick second. Code. Give me a second. DiCaprio. It's an American court where you get to see some very realistic interactions with an extremely humanitarian judge. I will just present him. Okay. Here is he?
Think so?
Yeah. Is your lawyer with you?
Yes, this is Kaya.
Look at the beautiful smile on that baby, Inspector Quinn. Where'd she get that beautiful red hair?
From her dad.
Put her on the other side so we can see her. Wave at the camera. Wave. Say hi. I think she's going to be very successful in life. With that personality,
Think so?
yeah. Does she take after you?
She takes after myself and her dad.
Also her dad.
Yeah.
All right. Now, you've been here before.
I have been here before.
We usually incarcerate repeat offenders.
I can't take her to jail with me, though, so.
Look at that face. What a great personality. Well, you're here for a very serious offense. You have a parking ticket.
Yes.
Thank you. Just wanted to show you how the real English behavior in a real life situation. So these are the situations where there is family, children, and a philanthropic judge like Judge DiCaprio. And he's a very kind person. He's got a charity in the name of his late mother, Philomena. And he actually pays the the penalties on behalf of the poor defendants. So that's very nice to see. Anyway, Michael, do you have any kind judges like DiCaprio in your country?
No, we don't televise or do it.
Okay, secret.
I always love to watch Judge Judy. She was
okay.
always my favorite. Yeah.
Okay. So there are many judges of this sort which you can bring to your computer screen or your phone, and the courtrooms can teach you a lot. The pathology cards are very interesting. They normally go for about an hour, and all throughout this 1 hour, you will have the suspense. Who will be the father of the child? Could it be the husband, or could it be the milkman or the postman? So this will continue throughout. Very interesting presentations, which we sometimes show to our oral community. So that's it in general. Take it from real life, see the courtrooms, listen to the radio, and if you're really dedicated to learn this language, master it, and do not impose it on your students. Don't talk Malayalam. Rather, you influence them. The way you you pronounce, the way you speak, your expressions, the completeness of your ideas that will make the crowd attracted to you. Your in crowd, these little boys and girls, they are far too intelligent than any one of us. And they have no hesitation in giving feedback. They don't really fear us. They only pretend that they fear you. Just they wanted to manage the situation. They are great ladies and gentlemen, just little short than us, and they're wonderful people. I've just been spending a long week with nice boys and girls, so I understand them, and I know that they need a better treatment than the previous generation. That means spending 10 years or 15 years, at the end, they should be able to influence other people with their English, get better salary because they speak beautiful English, get better admissions in world universities because they speak nice English. So that's what I would like to conclude there with from my side. And if Michael would like to add anything, or Rocky, you're free to. The crowd, your opinions are very important for us since we are a large gathering. We will not be able to speak with any one of you personally, but we appreciate your presence, your attention, the enthusiasm which you have shown to this seminar webinar. So I would like to hear your voice, if you could send it in any electronic media to us through SOPANAM. We'll review it together, and Michael, Rocky, and myself will look into that and to try to respond to you at our level best. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Michael, Mr. Aki, and Mr. Matthew
Thank you.
for conducting a very wonderful webinar. Thank you. Sir, we are already moved by your wonderful sessions. Thank you, everyone. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very
Good
much.
night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Father.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.